Hello, welcome to a new video. Today we want to take a look at a very interesting team here as we're gonna try to hard counter some Araquanids with this team. I hope this works. I don't know for sure, but I actually went on a 7-game win streak with this team, which is kind of insane and kind of lucky, to be honest. This team is far from perfect in my opinion because there's one big hole, which is the NiRiain, but still Pelipper is a Pokemon that you should definitely consider right now in the current meta, as well as Skarmory as well, just because both of them completely resist every move from the Araquanid while hitting back with super effective moves. And in general, right now there's basically one real answer for the Pelipper, which you still get below half health, I think, which is the Registeel. And other than this, there is not a lot that they can really do, to be honest. Even against Trevenant, your wing attack is super effective, you have the Hurricane. And I think against Trevenant in the 2-shield scenario, whatever, you easily win this, because you saw already how much damage I do just with the wing attack, which was insane, as we can farm on my opponent just with our Skarmory. But yeah, you're gonna see a lot of wins then in the beginning. I actually lost a lot of battles at the end again. Like I still went like, I think 2-3 twice in my last 2 sets. I played 4 sets with this team, by the way. A main reason though for this is the game was completely broken again. Like I don't know what's currently going on. Like since the league change, there was nothing you can really do in a lot of scenarios. I had like several times where I had my Pelipper against fighting type. There was like Surfetch, for example. I think I had this twice against the Surfetch. I don't know if this is a bug or whatever, but they just were able to counter me down. I can look at them, counter them down, where they counter me down while I was just standing still and doing nothing. And losing games to this, I don't really would count it towards the team. The team still, as said, has some problems sometimes against NiRiains, because of course your lead doesn't really like to face NiRiains, and also your Pokemon in the back. Unlike like the Skarmory is fine, but the other thing is not as fine. The Pelipper, it's also not the best, but you could change this team and use the Registeel in the lead if you're not as scared of fire types like the Alolan Marowak. I think before the Alolan Marowak buff, it would have been definitely more viable, but right now it's a little bit trickier. Else we see another Surfetch coming in here. Of course, Surfetch doesn't really want to face me with my charge moves here, as they're gonna go for 1-9 / means they don't have a Brave Bird. I don't have to be scared of this move, and I can farm them all the way down, and I should be in a good spot, as we definitely gonna be able to realign our Pokemon. And I battled actually this team twice. This was like the second time where I completely lagged out with my Pelipper against their Surfetch there, and lost the game because of this. They actually had the exact same team as far as I know, and I kind of misplayed this here because I didn't know the team here. This was the first battle, and I don't know who made a video about this team, but I guess like there was someone who made a video. I guess this team definitely does make sense though. Like this team definitely does make sense. Lickitung, the Surfetch say swap, and you're gonna see in the back the Medicham, which definitely is a good team to use, but we still have our nearly full health Diggersby, and Diggersby doesn't really care about the counters or like the really bad matchup here. Diggersby has Earthquake, and Earthquake is all the things that Diggersby really needs here, as this thing is so bulky and so chunky that it can take 1 Ice Punch, it can shield the next Ice Punch, and we can go for 1 Earthquake, finishing off this game. And this is how it's supposed to go anyway. I lost this game before, so like afterwards one time because of lag, but this is not in the video. I think I have the first 2 sets in the video and like some of the 3rd set, but I'm not sure. We definitely see some losses later on as well. We see the Sableye coming in here. This is the thing, a lot of people have like something like the G-Fisk and Sableye in the back with the Araquanid in the back, because this is also a team I just showcased. And this team basically hard counters this team as well, because Sableye doesn't really want to face this thing. But you have to be, of course, a little bit careful if you face something that your backline doesn't really beat with the lead that you swap out then still. But we see the Nidoqueen here. Nidoqueen, look at my team. I have a water type Pelipper, I have a steel type Skarmory in the back, and I have a ground type in the lead. Nidoqueen has literally nowhere to go with this team. Of course, this is the best matchup for Nidoqueen right now. They let it go, which is fine. We see the Scrafty, and we can actually get him pretty low. Else we can go into our Skarmory, and we just go no shield. Like shielding the first move is the only mistake that we can make, and now we can shield the second move. But they actually don't even shield the second move. They go for foul play now. It doesn't even do a lot of damage. We can go for 1 more Sky Attack, getting the final shield, and going for 1 Fire Punch here to win us the game. Good game there to my opponent again. pretty easy game there, just because Neo Queen is just always a free win. What do you do against a Azumarill? You can go into the Pelipper. Pelipper can take every move pretty easily, and you have the Hurricane here as well, which gonna hit it for neutral damage. And this is a very neutral matchup, depending on if you hit the Hurricane, but my opponent makes a really real play in going into a Marowak against me. Of course, they wanted to catch the Hurricane, but this didn't work out too well, to be honest, as they just gonna sacrifice their a lone Marowak there, as we see the Sableye coming in, which you of course also just beat with some weather balls. Like, you see how insane the Pelipper can be in the current meta. It's like kind of crazy, as we see the Diggersby here coming in, gonna be able to take those foul plays pretty easily. We see the Azumarill, we can go for the big Earthquake here, and this gonna put Azumarill, we get the shield, it's fine, we have 2 shields advantage now against the Azumarill. We have our Skami available, we don't even need a shield here right now, like Ice Beam doesn't do anything. We can go for some Brave Birds or whatever, and we can farm down afterwards if we want to, but this game is pretty much over already at this point of time. I can shield this move up now, I actually don't even shield this move up. I don't know if this was the right play, to be honest. We can shield here now. This was a weird one, to be honest. I should have just shielded the Ice Beam. That would have been fine farming him down. But like this, we can still go for 1 Fire Punch. 1 foul play doesn't care us. They had to go for the return there and hope that I no shield for whatever reason I would ever no shield there. But this is gonna be a good game to my opponent, as we see a Sableye lead, which is of course really good for us, but actually it's kinda still neutral. It's like how insane Sableye is. We see the Talonflame coming in, we have our perfect answer here with our Pelipper. They definitely go for the Brave Bird here, getting at least 1 shield from me. I can farm up a lot of energy. I didn't want to farm up as much that they would be able to get to another Brave Bird if they shielded, so I just went for a little bit less farm, but a safer play there to KO the Talonflame, because I really don't want to face it in the back. And we see the only real hard answer right now in the meta, I think, against Pelipper, which is the Registeel. We gotta go for a combo play. I kinda want to save my Pelipper, as my opponent goes for the Focus Blast. And we of course have a decent matchup against the last Pokemon from him as well, as we can go for 1 Fire Punch, getting the last shield from him, and they gonna swap out here perfectly on the Earthquake into the Sableye, which doesn't matter whatsoever, as we can easily just farm up some extra energy, and we should be fine here. We're just gonna swap out into our... Never mind, we cannot swap out because the game is broken. Now we can swap out. I think he got some extra free moves in, which didn't really matter at the end, as we can just still farm him down. Even though, like, he wouldn't have got this move off definitely if I was able to swap out there. He still has only the Registeel in the back, and we have a really good time against the Registeel anyway, so good game there to my opponent. I don't know why they're even trying still, as this game is definitely over. We can go for 1 Fire Punch here. This Fire Punch comes through, and this gonna KO my opponent pretty easily. Good game there. Seeing now the next battle, we have Diggersby against Deoxys Defense. This is actually one of the most awkward scenarios for this team, where also maybe some other Pokemon actually think that the Registeel is a better time against Deoxys Defense, but it really depends on the moves it runs. Usually the Aura run Psycho Boost, so I'm gonna shield the first one. They go for the Psycho Boost here, and they're gonna... I don't think they did even swap out there. We can go for the Earthquake, getting him also to like low HP. They go into an Umbreon, and I didn't really have anything for Umbreon either. So this matchup is now a little bit awkward, because I kinda need my lead also for the Deoxys Defense, and they go for 1 foul play here, and I was like, I should be able to get to at least a Hurricane here, right? So we're just gonna try to get to the Hurricane, and yeah, didn't work out. And I'm gonna have to shield here now. And now I'm gonna try to go for the Hurricane again, and they swap out and they catch me here off guard because I forgot about the switch clock. And I get completely wrecked by my opponent. And this is something that I of course also can show once in a while. Here you see me also getting completely wrecked by my opponent. Also like, you were very good. Like, my opponent played basically perfectly there, like props to him, well played there. Of course, I didn't really have the best answers to the Deoxys Defense, but you shouldn't really prepare for Deoxys Defense too much anyway. I don't think this thing is as good anymore as it was prior. Main reason, of course, we have the Araquanid now in the meta. We have the Trevenant now in the meta. We have basically Sableye everywhere. It's kind of not the best meta right now for the Deoxys Defense. There are definitely some other metas where this thing gonna be able to shine a little bit more, as we see now my opponent going for some nice damage with a foul play there, but we can go for 1 Fire Punch. I'm getting him into range when they go into the Azumarill, and we should be able to take a move here. I think I'm gonna try to farm up a little bit extra. Should have thrown my move actually. They go for the Hydro Pump. This was not the most optimal play. I don't know what I'm doing here, to be honest. Now I'm gonna throw on this charge move, they're gonna let it go, and they're gonna go back into the Saber. I should be able to farm all the way down though. I don't think they get to another move after this one, and they don't. And they have my move stored, and we see their Venusaur coming in, and of course against the Venusaur. Venusaur is totally kinda worth this right now, to be honest. I really would not recommend you to run the Venusaur. Main reason, again, you have Araquanid, which I think should win. Of course, it's kind of neutral matchup, but like you're just bulkier, but I'm not sure who wins there. But the thing is, basically all the answers for Araquanid are also answers for the Venusaur, so yeah, like it's not really the best Pokemon at the current time to use, in my opinion. We see this Grafty wants to stay in here for a little bit. We see this Skarmory coming in here. Of course, this is a pretty okay-ish matchup, especially for my Diggersby, as we should still be able to get to one more Weather Ball here, putting him into a range where the Diggersby can do some damage. But my opponent, I think, makes a misplay here in general. I have to see. I don't know if this was this opponent. Yeah, we can go for one Fire Punch here, and they actually think let it go. They let it go, and I can swap out. I can swap out onto the Brave Bird. I get my quick move through, which means that his Skarmory is gone now. We see the Drapion coming in there, which is nice for us because like Drapion doesn't really have a lot of play against my team at all. And of course I have already some energy, and I definitely should be able to do some nice things in this battle, but I'm not sure we actually still win this. I have to see. We can go for one Sky Attack here. I hope that I get the shield here from my opponent, as we're not getting the shield there. I try to swap out on the move, and I do, which is amazing. I still have a move start on my other Pokemon. This thing is basically useless. We see the Scrafty coming in there. We can go for one Fire Punch, which should get the first shield from my opponent. So we have to try to get to another one. They tried to farm me down, didn't work out. We can go for another one. We have a Sky Attack loaded, and the Drapion has no energy, so this is gonna be a good game to my opponent. There's not a lot that they can do here anymore. We can go and shield up this Power Punch, while the Sky Attack gonna be able to hit my opponent real quick, and we see the Drapion coming in, which doesn't really help him too much. We see the Diggersby now against Empoleon, which is a horrible matchup again. Empoleon basically beats the entire team, but how often do you see Empoleon? Of course, I see it directly when I play this team. I literally didn't really see it afterwards. And we see the next kind of counter to my team. Altaria is really awkward to play against, because Altaria is, yeah, like even though it, of course, all moves are weak to steel types, the pure damage it does with the Dragon Breath is like something you cannot really underestimate. This thing is just such a crazy Pokemon that just can tank everything. It's kind of insane. So yeah, like we see the Altaria going for the Sky Attack there. We can just go ahead and go into our Diggersby now, try to go in there when he goes into Empoleon, and they go into a Manabus. And yeah, like for me right now, I saw how much damage is this. I maybe still had some chance to win this game. I don't know 100% sure. Here I'm just gonna get some extra energy, because why not? But for me right now, if I'm in a matchup with Diggersby against Manabus, I have to hit, I think, 8 Fire Punches to KO Manabus, which could happen there, especially with the energy advantage I had and the Pokemon head still in the back. But honestly, is it worth my time in like the interlude season to just like stay in there for 5 minutes throwing Fire Punches at a Manabus? For me personally, no, it's not. But like everybody can have different opinions on this, definitely anyway. We can go for one Earthquake here, trying to KO this Bastion, else we're gonna see my opponent going into their Victory Bell, of course, in the back. If you have a Bastion, there's nearly always a Victory Bell with it as well, as we can go into our Pelipper and we win this matchup pretty easily, as we are way more spammy than them. We can go for 2 Weather Balls, and we can already do so much damage with our Wing Attack. Good game to my opponent. As we see the next opponent, we get the Diggersby against the Araquanid, which is not the best matchup, but you kinda need to not panic too much here always. Against Pokemon like Araquanid, you can just get energy here, and then you can swap out. You have now an Earthquake stored, which you can use against whatever they bring in. We get some lag there, which actually helps us more than it hurts us. And we can get some energy for our next matchup, which is the Lickitung, which is fine. But yeah, like this thing is like you always kind of want to try to get the best, like the most amount of energy if you don't really lose a lot of health there, and like I didn't. Of course couldn't really hit it back anyway either. I'm not sure if we win this game. I don't think I actually do, but we will see. But yeah, this is totally fine, as I can farm down this Lickitung and get some extra energy. And I get One more quick move through, we see the Stunfisk. We can go for the bait here with the Fire Punch. We definitely get a shield here because he wants to align his, what's it called, is Araquanid, of course. This game actually going to come down to the wire, I think. This is actually going to be a very close one. I have to go for the Fire Punches here now to stall the time. I have one move stored with my Skarmory. And I'm gonna try now after this Fire Punch to load up extra energy so I can use it against the G-Fisk later, but you also see later on the time gonna come up now. Like this is the last battle and we still have 50 seconds left and it's like sped up by 2.3 times, I think. So we can KO the Araquanid, which was really nice for us. And now we have 2 shields, a Skarmory against the Stunfisk, and we still have, I think, some energy on our Diggersby, but it's still gonna come down to the wire. We can now go for one Brave Bird, I think. I'm just gonna shield at this move, and I think I can go for Brave Bird now. And this should allow me afterwards to swap out into my Diggersby, and I should be able to get to a move here right now. I have the Fire Punch stored. I can go for the Fire Punch, and this gonna get the last and final shield from my opponent. I try to go for the next Fire Punch as well. They can go for one Rock Slide. I go for my Fire Punch now, but they can get to another Rock Slide. You see the time coming up there, and we can still go for one Brave Bird, winning us the game. Thanks all for watching. See you in the next video. Have a great rest of the day. And this team is definitely a cool team to counter Araquanid.